On the truth train, Gypsy Rose's lies are considered especially heinous. In the Gypverse, the dedicated creators who investigate Gypsy Rose Blanchard's case are members of the truth train. These are their stories.
Hello, how you doing today, bitch? Yes, it's video time for Baby Gale. I just did a live stream. We kind of jumped around a lot, but, I go and I create these nice live streams that I want to go over with everyone, and it glitches out every fucking time. It drives me crazy. It must be my internet. I've called Spectrum, but they said that my internet is one of the highest, so I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, anyways, let's get to it. So, how are you doing? How are your fur babies? I love hearing about the fur babies in my comments. I got two. Obviously, a lot of you already know I have a really chubby beagle basset hound mix, and his name's Duke, but I call him Bubba. And then I got my Mew Mew. My Mew Mew I have raised since he was a little tiny baby. I had to bottle feed him and stuff. Those are my kids. I have other kids.
Look at this boy. He's so sleepy. He's a sleepy boy. Yeah, I love my boy. He's so sleepy. I'm so sleepy. Yeah. Oh, he ate his breakfast. Look at his body's all full. Oh my goodness, my boy. I love him. He's so cute, my boy.
Welcome to, or welcome back to Baby Gale's World. If you're new here, I talk about internet train wrecks and low cows, or as Rosie Lynn Reed would say, LOL cows. Okay, she also claims that she's not one, but that's a different video. Today, I've got a couple Gypsy Rose videos I'm batch filming today because I made some and I accidentally erased them because I'm stupid. No sympathy train here. Only the truth train on the Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Alright? So we've got member of the video, bitch. Ooh, is main chick Carrie, yes. And she's my mod. She really helps me a lot. And I really love her. Yes. Bitch, that was amazing. You understand? I love giving you guys a song when you become members. If you would like a song of your own, become a member today. $2.99 a month. I could make it lower. I should. I don't know how I put it at $2.99 or why, but I want to give you guys more for what you pay a month for memberships. Okay, so I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe do some giveaways, things like that for my members. Whatever. Things are gonna come together as long as I just keep on going. Right? That's what I say. So, I also say my prayers for everybody, including our soldiers out there fighting in Iran, including our world leaders. I pray that they make better decisions. I pray for all of you. I worry about all of you out there. Stay safe, please. And I just, it's hard to think about what's going on and what we've been finding out. Epstein files, everything else. It's crazy out there right now, okay? I don't even want to go outside. I've got the agoraphobia going on hardcore, okay? It's not like people think. It's not like Rosie Lynn Reed says where she just gets a little anxiety about leaving. No, I literally have a full-on fucking panic attack if I have to leave the house. And I straight up can hardly function. I don't like it. I'm worried about the world today. I'm worried about all of you, and I'm worried about everything. But anyways, let's get to this. So, if you're not new here and you return to my channel, thank you so much. I love you with all my heart. Please subscribe if you haven't. There's like 60% of people that watch me that are not subscribed. So I would really appreciate it if you did. Give me a like on this video. Maybe hype it if you would. I mean, if you feel generous. You know what I'm saying. Anyways, so what the hell is Gypsy Rose teaching her daughter? Now we're going to start the videos with always, like we always do, current events. It's time for current events of the murderous bitch Gypsy Rose. But I start the video with the current events, and then we'll move on to the truth train stuff, okay? And some of it even leaks into the truth train stuff if you look into it deep enough. But anyways, what in the world is Gypsy Rose teaching Aurora? She's so obsessed with her figure, so obsessed with how she looks. You're raising a little girl, and you're going to end up giving her self-esteem issues watching you be this way. And you've always been this way. It wasn't your mother starving you. See how it leaks in to the truth train stuff? She's still doing, to this day, things that she was doing in the past. Because one doctor even said, I believe that she just doesn't want to end up looking like her mother. But her mother was a plus-size woman, blah, blah, blah. She alters her pictures with filters. You can tell. The one dancing video that she put up was AI. I mean, with that kind of self-esteem issue, it's going to rub off on your daughter. And the last thing you should be trying to do or ever doing in front of your daughter is portraying these insecurities and making her feel like she's less adequate to you because she's not skinny enough or she's not, you know what I mean? And it's just because mainstream media refuses to actually tell the true story of who Gypsy Rose really is. There's so much evidence out there that totally, changes the minds of many people that believed in her at first. And we're slowly but surely getting there. It's like more and more people are figuring it out slowly. But it's Gypsy Rose. But Gypsy Rose, she definitely was bigger when she got out of prison, right? So she was up in the prison really chowing down. Because you don't have to eat the prison food. You can order commissary. And as we all know, she had, money from her parents every single month that she could have been spending on that. Men were giving her money, remember, emails and things like that. So yeah, I mean, she was collecting her fair share, I'm sure. And then they use their commissary to trade for things and all kinds of stuff. So, and you can get stuff while you're in prison, like a TV. You can get, long johns and all that kind of stuff. They give you a little catalog. It's a little bit overpriced, of course, because that's how it all works. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure that her $200 from her parents a month didn't go far. But like I said, she was getting money from men. She had trust funds set up for the different documentaries and shows that were made about her where they gave her money for it. She tries to say that the act never paid her, but they definitely did. And the money was put aside for her. I don't know why she wants this pity me narrative to always go on. But it seems to me that narcissists are so into the victimhood of everything. They want nothing more than to have you loathing in front of them in sympathy that, oh gosh, I'm so sorry for everything you've gone through. Oh, bow to you. You know what I mean? It's so weird. But she's so vain about her looks that I really fear for Aurora as she gets older. You know what I mean? That's really going to rub off on her badly, and you don't even mean to do it. That's the thing. Gypsy Rose could just be, doing her normal thing, everyday thing that she does, but her obsession with her own looks and her own weight, her daughter is going to then see and try to mimic. And then that leads to what? EDs. Okay, I'm not going to say the word, I'll get demonetized. And then she even stated that her dream job would be to be Tinkerbell at Disney. Now, one thing I want to say is you said at one point that the Disney stuff was pushed on you by your mom. So wouldn't that be triggering to get a job at Disney as Tinkerbell? But, okay, and then number 2 is you are focusing on Tinkerbell because Tinkerbell not only is the highest paid because she has to zip line through Disney back and forth like she's flying, okay, but she's got to be tiny. And Gypsy Rose even says she's got to be like a size 2, maybe a 4, but even a size 4 to Gypsy Rose is big.
What's my dream job? I'd have to give that a lot of thought. In another life, I would probably love to work at Disney as like Tinkerbell. I seen a video when I scrolled through TikTok that if you're short, what are the characters that you could play? And I meet the standards for Tinkerbell, so 4'11", and they're like a size, I think 4, size 2 or 4, and 4'11" is the minimum. Yeah, minimum, and I think 5'2" is the maximum to be Tinkerbell.
So, I mean, my mom was kind of like that too growing up, and I remember it did have an effect on me to a certain extent because I was a chubby kid, and my mom was like a size 2. At one point, she even got down to a size 0, and she was always obsessed with staying thin and, whatever, and it's like not intentional. The parent doesn't mean to have it rub off on their child, but you really, as a parent, you have to watch how you and your actions are going to affect your children. I had children very young, and I know that one thing I didn't do that I should have done was pay more attention to how I was affecting them. And what I was doing was hindering them. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, not paying attention to that also kind of leads to you not paying attention to them, or you know what I mean? It's difficult, but hopefully Gypsy Rose realizes this, or someone says something so that this can have a stop put to it. You know what I mean? And it's like she totally had to have researched the job already because she knows what size Tinkerbell has to be. And also, it's the highest paid job at Disney, or one of the highest paid jobs at Disney. So it's like, I know she looked at that and thought, because she's so money hungry and so materialistic, that the whole, I would love to do this is only because she would make good money and she would, have to stay at a small stature and whatever. I just feel like if you felt like you were tortured with the Disney thing, you wouldn't have videos of you singing like you're in Frozen. You wouldn't have had your wish be to go to Disney and eat the royal mashed potatoes. Acting like you're so cognitively delayed that.
Hey everybody, right now I'm in Cinderella's castle eating some royal mashed potatoes.
What you've done and how you've acted in the past just makes me so sick. So sick. Because you were literally acting and putting on a show for your entire audience being the people in your life. That's not cool. We're not in the Truman Show. This isn't a play. You know what I mean? This is life. But I digress. And then And then she even wears the Wigs by Tiffany, which I totally feel bad for Wigs by Tiffany because she's probably got beautiful wigs, but Gypsy Rose refuses to put them on properly or learn how to put them on properly. So she absolutely looks ridiculous. Now, this is my just when I can't get my hair to do what I need it to do or whatever, I throw this on. But I really love the color and I love how it looks. You know what I'm saying? It might look synthetic. I don't care. I love it. Okay. But, you know, at least I try with this one. I try to make it look right. She's got these wigs on that I think are way too big for her head. Because remember, she's got microcephaly, so her head is smaller than normal people. So it's almost as if she would have to get a wig made for a child. You know what I'm saying? For it to fit properly. And then she needs to be taught how to professionally do a wig so that you don't look like a fucking moron when you go out in public with this wig on. Because you're really giving Wigs by Tiffany a bad name. You really are.
Gypsy, they know it's a wig. You don't need to list medical conditions. You don't fucking have any of them. Like, I feel bad for Wigs by Tiffany because Gypsy is doing their business no favors. Like, when Gypsy first started posting her wig, some girl in the comments posted, like, her $200 wig, and it looked amazing. You couldn't even tell it was a wig. Do you guys remember this?
And let go. Gone was the intense sense of inferiority from the past. She understood that appearance was...
And then she's got, like, the different wigs that she wears for different things. You can tell she still kind of plays into that role-playing bullshit, where she'll put on one wig to act like, you know, one way, and then she'll have another one where she acts completely different, and it's sometimes subtle and sometimes drastic. You know what I mean? But it's still proving that she's got this role-playing mindset. You know what I mean? That life is just about a character that she's playing for everybody all the time, you know? And we don't want a character. We want you to be accountable, be real, be aware, self-aware. You know, we want that out of you. Just like these creators that are so delusional and so lost within themselves that they can't for 1 second take a look at their audience and think, my audience wants good for me. My audience, you know, just wants to see me do well. But yet I'm going to do everything I can to disobey and, you know, ignore what they tell me so that I can keep acting this way. You know what I mean? It's just baffling to me because 9 times out of 10, your audience is simply telling you what they would prefer to see and who they would prefer to see. Yet you guys are so dead set on being just awful that you know what I mean? You can't be any other way, I guess. And she just goes ahead and plays the victim again to justify her behavior as usual. You know what I'm saying? But also, guys, I found a TikTok by a creator, Drama is My Cardio 17, and she brought up something really, really interesting, okay?
Have any of you guys noticed that Gypsy's teeth keep getting shaved down more?
Your guys' thoughts on this video because I can't. I can't. I don't know. I can't. I just can't. If she had the money, I think, for extreme body modifications, I really believe that she would. I don't know, though. like, there's a Reddit picture that I was going to talk about this in my next video, but I'll bring it up slightly here. There's a Reddit video of of Gypsy Rose, and it looks to me like she got her boobs done, or she photoshopped it in some way to make her boobs look bigger, because, I mean, if you look at Dee Dee, she doesn't have boobs that are disproportionate to her body. My niece, although, is a really tiny waist, like size 4 to 6, and she's got triple E's. And they're natural. Oh, these boobs came from her one side of the family. That all the women have huge breasts. But with Gypsy Rose, I don't see that on either side. Really, maybe I don't see all her family members, of course. But I digress. I'm just saying. There's no way she gained boobs like that as small as she was. You know what I mean? I don't know. Look at this and tell me what you think.
Don't be shy, you can at me, sis. Cause ain't nothing worse than a pick me bitch. All I do is breathe and blink and it got y'all pissed.
And I want my boobs done. Why? Gypsy, why are you doing things like that when you're supposedly so afraid of medical things like surgeries and stuff like that? Because you was traumatized, right? With surgeries and all that kind of stuff, weren't you? Oh, no, that was a lie too, wasn't it? Oh, damn. So, yeah, you would be pretty excited about some more surgery, wouldn't you? And then also, teeth shaving? Like, seriously? What the fuck? And you can tell in the clips that she shows that that's got to be what she's doing. I mean, is she going to get some veneers or something? But when you let them do that kind of thing, that's not good to do that to your own teeth, right? And that can cause early tooth decay, a ton of pain. You know what I'm saying? It's not good for you to be doing on your own unless you're getting that professionally done so that you can get something like veneers or whatever, which is totally something I could see you doing. I could. And then she went out to the mall to get some stuff on her grifter cards. You know what I'm saying? She used up all the ones she stole from her mother, but she had gotten these ones, and she was having a hard time staying on budget, it looks like.
I'm being tested right now. Tested right now.
People in the comments are saying that they're going to call CPS on Gypsy Rose. Now, please just wait. I'll show you that. Just look at this small edit. I'll try to make it as short as possible.
With me as I go shopping at the mall, and I only want to spend what is on these gift cards. Bath and Body Works, Princess Aurora stuff, hand sanitizer, body cream. I also want to try to get something for Ken. I have no idea what he might be interested in. I think this would look really cute in our bathroom. I think it's going to go perfect. Then tragedy struck. Tragedy struck. I'm being tested right now. Tested right now. Address. I need it for the concert, guys. Heading out before I spend any more money. Like, I caved, right? Like, sundress, puffy sleeve sundress, a necklace that looks like a K on it, and go to Ulta next.
Gypsy Rose was out shopping on the mall when somebody caught this. Then Gypsy Rose put in her stories this. I was coughing so hard. I'm getting over the freaking flu. I hate to be this person, but actually, no, I don't. Who goes to Bath and Body Works and spends $200? I'm so sorry, but what? Who gave you a $200 gift card to Bath and Body Works? That is crazy to me. Listen, I'm not one against not spending money, okay? I mean, but on the right things. Like, I drive a really nice car. I live in a nice home. But do I have expensive bags? Hell no, I don't. I mean, I wear this. I wear mama t-shirts, y'all. I just don't waste money. I don't, because I'm always thinking about, I could be spending that on my kids somehow. But I'm so glad she found a puffy sleeve sundress, which, by the way, reminded me of this. And she got squirts for the concert. Just walking around, living life like her mom's not fucking.
Mrs. Moneybags, I'm rich, I got all the money in the world, is out flinging these gift cards like she's fucking Kim Kardashian. Gypsy Rose will always be and always is about the grift. Now, I wholeheartedly believe that a lot of those situations where they got help for whatever reason or grifted however they did, a lot of that I think probably came from Gypsy Rose's doing, because she was on the internet a lot. She was, obviously talking to a whole bunch of different people. You know what I'm saying? And she's already, been known to be a thief by stealing her mother's pills and her mother's gift cards. Her mom had to call the police. I mean, it's just that this time, everything has advanced to her being more mature and in her 30s with a baby, but she's still doing the same shit. I feel like history is going to repeat itself. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. And then before we get into the truth train part of the video, one last thing is that somebody found a video off of Ken Urker's Instagram stories. And what is this? It looks like you're living in someone's garage.
See why Gypsy Rose didn't want to show us her house or give us a house tour. It looks like she lives in some sort of a garage. So look, there's the garage door there and then a front door right next to it. Maybe she should have spent the $3,600 not on a bag, but maybe some sheetrock to get her place looking like a normal house. I don't know. Or maybe spend the money on a down payment for a house. That way you actually own something that you can flip later. Not like an embroidered bag with Gypsy's name on it. That's a little crazy to me to be blowing all this money on a bag, if it's even real. Say it's real. $3,600, but you don't have walls? Even if it's a little storage unit, you would think that you would put walls up before you blow all that money on a bag. It's crazy priority. Or here's one better. Forget the walls. Sell the bag if it's real, and donate the money back to Make-A-Wish for all the wishes you stole from the dying children. That'd be great.
You haven't gotten a ring on your finger from your man, and now you're going to live in a garage or a shed or whatever? What is that? If you live there and you have that bag that you claim is real and it's $3,500, you're stupid as fuck. You are stupid as fuck. You should be investing your money, not spending. Okay? And a great investment is a first-time home. Right? And we all know that Gypsy Rose loves a personalized item, because look at the back of her wheelchair. It's got her name on it. So, of course, she would have to get that done to her fake Christian Dior bag. Right? Oh, and then get this. We all thought that Miss Gypsy Rose had given up her 9 point whatever million account on TikTok to her friend Bree, and that she was over the large amount of followers and she wanted authentic followers. But if you notice, Gypsy Rose had lost monetization on TikTok for a little while. So, of course, she was going to drop that account and then try to start working on another one to monetize that one, right? In the meantime. But then she got her 9 point whatever million follower account back, and she's got it remonetized. And guess what account she's been making content on? I can't, you guys. I can't. I don't understand. Why do you lie to us? Why the fuck? Just tell us the truth. Tell us why. Who cares? If you just told the truth, we wouldn't have to have these fucking discussions. Okay? But because you refuse to be honest, we talk about it. Okay? But in a way, I know that you know that people talking about you keeps your name in their mouths and keeps it relevant, right? So it's kind of a win-lose situation. You know what I'm saying? But I am going to move on here. But that's just so gross to me. You had, like, Amberlynn and Rosie Lynn Reed, they fucking both hardly went on YouTube to make any kind of content when they were demonetized. That doesn't prove to me that you have any kind of passion for the content that you create. I sat on this platform for over a year making content before I ever even reached 1,000 subscribers to become monetized. Did I care? Well, I did want some money, but I didn't care. I love being on here with you guys and talking to you guys and enjoying your company and reading your comments and feeling the love. I love that. That's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? I told you guys before, the money part of it is just a bonus. And it helps me a little bit with my struggling, because right now we are having a struggle, let me tell you. But I'm not going to get into that or, do the sympathy bullshit. I'm just letting you know that this money I do get from YouTube is so helpful, and I'm so grateful to all of you so much. It has to be known. I have to tell you over and over. All right, that's just how it is. Anyway, so yeah, and then like Audrey posted this video, and it's true that Gypsy does so many fucking things that you would think would be triggering to her based on what supposedly happened to her in the past, right? Like I discussed before, the plastic surgery, even though you said that you were medically abused and you had to have 30 surgeries and yada, yada, yada. You didn't seem to have any trauma when you went in to get your nose done. Or I'm just speculating you had a boob job too. And that was like almost immediately after you got out of prison, you did that. So it's like you were just in there waiting to get out and get that surgery done. And then it's like, the weight thing. You would think that if you were actually starved by your mom, you would never want to feel that again. So you wouldn't be like not eating and trying to be so thin right now, because that would trigger you and make you feel like you're being starved again. Right? So I don't believe this whole stupid ass story that you have about your mother deliberately depriving you of food, because there's other videos too. Your stature, your small size, an average weight for you is about 100 pounds. And that's what you were when you went into prison. And again, when you were weighed, months down the line or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying?
To a statement that this guy, Mr. Mike Stanfield, made for little Geppetto here. And then I want you to tell me if he was lying. He said to BuzzFeed, Gypsy is now an inmate being processed at the Women's Eastern Reception Diagnostic and Correctional Center in Vidalia, Missouri. Her hair is long, her skin clear and healthy, and she wears proper adult glasses. She's off all her medication, and there's been no health problems in the years she's been out of her mother's control. Most of my clients lose weight in prison, Stanfield pointed out, because the food is so bad. Gypsy gained 14 pounds in the 12 months she spent in Greene County Jail before her plea. But Mike, is that true? Because I seen something really interesting today over on the GRB Snark page. Because here's one of Gypsy's mugshots shortly after she got arrested, 6/26/2015. So about 16-ish days after the crime. But what I noticed was real interesting is it has her weight here of 99 pounds. But then we have this mugshot from a little over 2 years later. And do you want to know how much Gypsy weighed? 99 pounds. Thought she gained 14. Cause, I may have went to school for accounting, but I'm not going to claim to be a numbers expert. But the last time I checked, 99 pounds plus 14 pounds is 113, right? It's not 99? Okay, that's what I thought. I would like to read you a statement.
So, and you were even the same weight. But Mike Stanfield likes to say that normally when people go to prison, they lose weight. That's not true, you idiot. That is not true at all. Whenever somebody goes to prison, they get bigger usually, especially women, because they get all this commissary, and what do they have to do? Nothing. Sit there and eat. You know what I mean? They're not going to sit there and eat that nasty prison food. They can buy their own shit. That's how. It's so stupid for him to even say that, because that is so not true. Gypsy Rose, on the other hand, is going to prison, so worried about her figure at first that she's trying not to get fat, so she's not eating a whole lot still. That's just the truth, you know? And then it almost feels like other things that she talked about in her past will come into fruition, like the whole giving your daughter up when she's 13 to her dad because he's the master of the house. Gypsy Rose, I certainly hope that those desires are not still in your fucking head. Because you do not need to be having a baby girl if those desires are still in your head. And usually sexual weird shit or desires like that or thoughts like that aren't they aren't easily, taken away from someone's mind, if you will.
Rose's words. What you just heard was Gypsy Rose referring to her daughter as honeypot. Now, most would not find this suspicious. However, whenever you couple it with what she wrote in her book, it's very suspicious. So let's read it. I remember Daddy Claude moseying over like an old grizzly bear to where I was lying. His hand moved towards my pull-up diaper like it was a pot of honey. That is Gypsy Rose's words. And she's calling her daughter honeypot? And let's not forget this key detail.
She has to lose her virginity to you.
You cannot convince me that Gypsy is not potentially going to replay what she had already planned way back in the day. Too many things seem suspicious, because if I had been essayed as a child and I described it like this, there's no way in hell you would catch me calling my child a honeypot. Especially knowing that there was a video on the internet of me saying my future daughter would have to give it up to her future hypothetical father. Disgusting.
It's crazy. But what are your thoughts on this video by Audrey? And it's like, I've had enough of that kind of shit because I've been reading through the Epstein files. That it's like, I see this disgusting shit by Gypsy Rose Blanchett, and it's like, I can't even fucking hardly fathom it, that it's so disgusting of a world out there that we have these kind of people. You know what I mean? These manipulative, disgusting, disrespectful, evil people out there that only are worried about their gain and your loss. It's pretty fucked up. And I noticed a couple things about this $3,500 bag that Gypsy Rose supposedly bought. It is fake. It's got to be fake. I'll show it here.
Viewer. So I noticed a lot of people talking about like my book bag. It is a real. It is not a fake. You can tell if it's a fake or if it's a real. Is the tag will have a very specific font. On the underside, they will have a heat code. It is consistent with the date that it was created, and no. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Gypsy's always looking for money from her fans, and thanks to Reddit, who noticed that she has a personalized Christian Dior bag. $3,500, you guys.
The lining of the purse at the bottom is different. When they make these bags, they make them signature-like. They make them, when you look at it, there are certain key areas that will have a certain look that tells you whether it's real or not. Plus the certificate you get in whatever. And then someone commented on her thing about her bag, saying and she commented back to them, if she spent $3,000 on a wig, of course she would spend it on a bag. Why are you out here bragging about that kind of stuff with the world in the shambles right now? People out there struggling to even have food in the house. But, Gypsy Rose Blanchett bought a $3,500 bag. That's disgusting. That's really disgusting. You see the fucking world right now. You hear about it on the news, yet materialistic items and your selfishness take priority. Now, Mike Stanfield, let's talk about him for a minute. He's known for his many attempts at MVP cases in Missouri, right? And which is why I think that he absolutely ran to be Gypsy Rose's public defender. He was actually assigned as her public defender for Missouri before she was even arrested. And that's crazy, because normally you got to wait for a public defender to be on your case because they are overloaded with cases. That's the next video, though. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. And then also, he says in there about her having several medical professionals and that it almost looked like Dee Dee was doctor shopping. But no, Gypsy Rose had several medical professionals working on her case because at the time, before 2011 and 2012, they knew she had a chromosomal disorder, but not what kind, not anything. So they were literally treating the symptoms and working on trying to figure it out. Until one day in 2011, or it might have been 2012, they came out and told her what she has, which is the 1q21.1 microdeletion and microcephaly, and that's what was causing all of her symptoms. And don't let her fool you and tell you that she didn't have hardly any of the symptoms, because she literally had them all. And then Dee Dee even claimed that Gypsy Rose was actually at a cognitive level of 8 or 9-year-old. But that was all a show, I believe. Gypsy Rose was not really like that. She was putting on a fucking show for everybody, even her own mom. She hid that she could walk from her own mom as well. And I feel like if you are so deceptive and so manipulative as a child and a young adult, you've really got some major issues. Okay. And usually 9 times out of 10, those kind of people end up back and forth in prison. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but I do believe that she will reoffend. I definitely do believe that. But the courts still didn't see that Gypsy Rose was so behind cognitively that they decided that her mother didn't need to have complete guardianship of her, which was whatever, but she could be Gypsy's power of attorney in the case that Gypsy Rose was incapacitated and couldn't make decisions for herself, right? But at that point, medical decisions were all signed by Gypsy Rose. Her mother had absolutely nothing to do with it anymore because she couldn't, right? Well, then Dee Dee was at home looking up ways to be able to house her daughter in another way, find a program for her, because I feel like Dee Dee was just fed up. Dee Dee couldn't handle anymore. I believe she was finding out what Gypsy was doing and who Gypsy really was. And that's why, as a Christian woman, she said in her mind, I have to take care of myself and rid my home of the evil for just a little while at least. And Gypsy Rose took that as, well, I'm going to take your life before any of that can even be, and that's sad. That it's like you look at life so disgustingly that you decided one day, or well, you actually planned it for 2 years, but you decided to just take your mother's life. And taking a life, you're playing God. And there's absolutely, I don't believe there's forgiveness for somebody that murders someone else and literally takes their innocent life from this earth because of their own selfish fucking acts or needs.
I want to talk about this because ever since Gypsy Rose's case became very big, this has always been like the number one question and very like divided question of people. Is what Gypsy did okay because she was abused by her mom? I have thought. Number one, even if she was being heavily abused, no, sorry, I don't think that justifies taking advantage of a boy with autism. And now I have a whole new theory that Gypsy actually did most of the work before Nick even got there, and he just finished it off. But I have that in another video, and I'll probably make another one. Another thing to note is that I did like a somewhat like just like my first like 10 minutes of her original police interrogation video interview and my thoughts on it. And it was so interesting to watch back, like some notes from it, which I can do a separate video on. One thing that I do want to say is that not one time in that interrogation video does she say anything about her mom abusing her. And if I were to like put myself in this position and think, okay, I'm free now. We've seen the videos that have come out of her and Nick at the hotel after they got away. They're having a blast. They're high off whatever. At that point, she's free. She's away from her mom. She knows her mom is dead. At that point, why would she not try? And we've seen her manipulate things multiple ways in multiple situations. Again, during this interview at one point, I believe she like takes out her teeth to seem more childlike and more or slower or, enhance the fact that she has all these medical issues so that she could try and get out of going to prison. Like that was the route she took. I feel like most normal people in the head would have taken that opportunity to be like, I was heavily abused, this is what happened to me, I felt stuck. Mom had in paperwork that, you know, if I did try and run away or I did try to get help, I literally couldn't because she had on papers that I was mentally not able to take care of myself, pretty much just mentally unwell and disabled is what the paperwork Gypsy says stated. Does anyone remember, was that actually proven to be true? I actually don't know. That's a real question. I do believe that two things can be true at once, but going back to your original question, just even if she was being abused, no, I'm sorry, I don't think that equates to brutally offing your mother with 17 stab wounds when Nick claims that he only did 4. Okay. Doesn't make sense. Sorry. People also compare this a lot to the Menendez brothers, and I also don't think what they did equates to what was going on in their lives. You have to think with the brothers, they kind of had every resource, money, etc. in the world. They came from a very wealthy family and they still took that route. I see why people compare these cases because I could see like in some ways similarities. Don't think what they did justifies it, especially with all the money and resources they had. I could do a whole deep dive on them if we want to start talking about them.
Right? And that's exactly why she did what she did, because she's a selfish bitch. Especially since since Dee Dee didn't have to have complete guardianship of Gypsy Rose and she could go off on her own and make her own decisions. Dee Dee thought, well, if that's the case, bitch, you gotta go. But anyways, at least she was power of attorney. And I think if she knew what was to come, if Gypsy Rose ever fell into a situation where she was on life support, Dee Dee, in another reality, has probably turned that bitch off and, you know, was charging her phone. And good night, Gypsy. You know what I mean? But Dee Dee, a lot of people said Dee Dee would act like a battered spouse, like she had battered spousal syndrome, which is what I had after leaving my husband. And that's the worst fucking feeling in the world. You have to have a lot of strength to get over that. But Gypsy Rose was so condescending and nasty to her mom, I believe, that her mom felt like she was mentally abused, pretty much. And she was physically abused as well, pretty much. So, and Gypsy Rose, in my eyes, and obviously it shows in the crime, she was really dangerous at that time. She was violent. She was acting out. She was fighting with her mom for days at a time. And her mom was sick. She had stage 3 kidney failure. I mean, that's painful. And that's awful to go through. But Gypsy couldn't give her mother the same treatment her mother always gave her and decided to take her life instead of being there for her. And, you know, just all of this boils down to the fact that Gypsy Rose is self-absorbed. She's selfish. I mean, even her own sister has realized who she really is and backed off having a relationship with her. And that's got to say something, especially when your bitch ass gets online and says, my sister is my biggest trigger. Bitch, you're my biggest trigger. Okay? I'm so tired of you, I could scream. But I'll never stop shouting from the rooftops the truth about what you did until everybody on this earth knows exactly who you are. Okay? That's what I want. And it's going to take a lot of fucking work, a lot of yapping about you, but I'm down because I am over it. I know so much about you as well that I could literally just freestyle it to a fucking higher up and hope that they take you down. You know what I'm saying? You don't deserve to be on these platforms making a ton of money and influencing other people when you are taking people's lives. And I believe you'll reoffend. You really will. I do believe that with my whole heart, my whole chest. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, guys, I gotta take a moment. All right, enough. I had a live stream about Gypsy. Now that's talking about Gypsy in the video. I need to go take a little break, if you know what I'm saying. I love you with all my heart, you guys. Become a member. It's $2.99, and you get special videos with your bitch. You also get your videos a day early with no ads. Sometimes 2 days if I feel frisky. All right? And we're also going to start some membership live streams, giveaways, that kind of thing. So please become a member today if you want to enjoy the goodness of Baby Girls World. We got to start working on this channel and making this channel the best channel on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We do. And I'm ready for it. Bitch. I love you.